Agut Tavach Rabboisai, or Agut Nerv Shabbos Rabboisai, wherever you are in the world. Mordechai, live from Park City, Utah. It is 4 p.m. I will be going to shul at 5:10 p.m. I have an hour and 10 minutes till shul. We just finished the Hebrew shir, and we had 8 people on. It's already Shabbos in New York and in Eretz Yisrael, of course. So we're going to have to hustle here. I want to say shkoyach to Mark Ashkenazi for being online with me, even though it's so close to Shabbos. It's unbelievable. Rabbi Isai, my Rebbe, Rabbi Yedidia Kramer, had a baby boy. It's a big mazel tov for MDY. He also gives the shiurim. He gave shiurim in Hebrew. I think maybe even in English. No, not in English. In Hebrew for Friday and Motzei Shabbos. Even though I showed this, I don't think I showed the whole thing. I want to show you the beautiful songs that the Olam sings in the Beis Medrash. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but they have very nice keys over there in the Hebrew shir. I was on Zoom live. Just want to show you this, and I'm not going to read email. This is our chosheve. What do we call him? Not a captain. Our
Okay, let's continue.
the guy in charge of the satellite location, ambassador. There you go.
Continue on.
Mechi Overlander, Shkoyach. Mechi Overlander from Staten Island, Shkoyach Golem Oid.
I was about to
ambassador.
drop my Rambam. Told my friend I want to drop it to one pair.
What, one paragraph Rambam of it.
So
you never did the daf?
Never did the daf.
What made you start the daf?
So listen. Okay. So my friend told me the Rebbe told someone, you're having a hard time with something, add on something. So I said, you know what? He was starting the Sanhedrin. I saw it on the Israeli.
Instead of dropping the
Rambam, add something. So I saw this Israeli influencers on TV, Inon Magal. He's the patriotic. He put it on his channel, you know, about the daf.
About MDY daf or the daf?
MDY.
You got it.
My coworkers do the daf. I saw them do it. I never knew there was one in Hebrew. I'm in Israel, so I'm like, it wasn't, for me, the English was not even enough. Like, I realized it's doing it in Hebrew. So you know what? I'll add on the Hebrew. I started Sanhedrin and then I took off from there.
How did it affect your life?
Changed everything. Thing is, finish the two first two Masechtas, my wife.
Wow. So let's say this guy's been waiting for kids for
9 years.
9 years. Meeting him here. Zat Hashem will have good news soon. He's here local because his wife is in the delivery room.
Wow.
Right now. You shouldn't be here. That was
delivery room. I didn't catch on to that.
Come over here.
Oh my gosh.
Shabbos.
That's what first time he doesn't know. He's supposed to be in the living room with your wife. You don't go out to buy chocolate. Okay. Maybe she asked him. Maybe she told him, go get me some nash. He knows. Okay, we're gonna hear Be'ez Hashem. Good news. Next year after Shabbos, Mechi, let us know. I don't remember seeing Mechi Overlander at the Shabbos. Now, if he was there, it's a big busha for me. If he wasn't there, it's a big covet. Oh, he noticed that he wasn't there. I don't remember being there. Mark, was he there? Is that a busha? He's going to write to me. Okay. Meanwhile, we go weiter. He was there. Busha v'charba mechi. Oh, Shamti, Bogatti. Wow. With his wife. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I'm sorry, Mechi. It's one of those days. Ariel threw this in there. He's in front of my house in Chicago. I haven't been there in a while. Came for Toyamel. He got used to the Tayameh from the Shabbaton. This is our big number one editor, top editor of MDY, Ariel, who does all the shorts and everything else. We owe him a big akars at Tay. Rabbi Isai, I have it. Where is it? I just got it in the mail today. Oh, what? That fell. Okay. The official edition of Shas. Yavaldik. The official edition. Please send in your RS for good and for bad. We are looking to improve the product, and we will improve the product. I heard RS from different people. I love this. I don't like that. Okay, it's all. We take it all, and we try to improve. The official edition of MDY Shas Masechta is sponsored by the Irani and Levi families. As you can see right over in the bottom, it says the Irani family, Irani and Levi. The Perek, sponsored by Shani and Belski and family, Lunishma Simcha Beryl David, Zuchron Ben Avram Moshe. The Daf of the day, my good friend, David and Marcia Kreinberg. David Kreinberg, I know how to say it, Balpev Filo. Lunishma Mordechai Simcha Ben Tzvi, V'yud Sora Bas Avram, Shkoyach. The Masechta sponsor David Solomon, dedicated memory of Avimar. I have to call up David because he's big now on status, and he brought 35 new people to the daf of this Masechta. Reb Shmuel Baruch, Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv, Zuchron Levracha. Joel Gedalius, Leading Nishmas, my father Jack Gedalius, is a sponsor of the Masechta. Anonymous, Hatzlach Baruch of Gashmis. The Palchik Family Foundation, the Zech Nishmas, Rav Goyim, Reb Shlomo Palchik, the Mitzitzer Ilui, a Talmud of Volozhin, Reb Chaim Briske, and one of the first Rosh Yeshiva in America. This is sponsored. Anonymous for Shleimo Lemoshe Ben Nizah. Anonymous for complete for Shleimo and Arichas Yom to Leah Bas Esther. Yisrael Malki Tovitar Spicham Alvizov Chesed. We are so proud of you, Yaakov Mordechai. Keep steiging. So hold on a second. We had 3 over here, and another 2. We have 8 Masechta sponsors. Wow. Send the Gross and family, Canvey Island, UK, in honor of Rebelli, who changed my meaning of life. Ploini Almoini. Yossi, Mark, and Benny, and all the Oiskim B'Tzorchei MDY, Kishborchi Shalom Scharim. That's my favorite one. I hate to say it. It's my favorite one because it's just funny. Pliny Almighty. Givaldik. 8. That's sugar. Wow. Monthly sponsors are Simon Refor Shlema, Ovi Meir Baruch Miriam, Jamie Azulai Refor Shlema, Esther Bas Luna, Esther Walkenstein, Mazel Tov to my husband, Kalman Natanel, Walkenstein on his 40th birthday. Anonymous Broch Adli Dai Baruch Tzvinis Ben Shoshana Leah Yehuda Ben Yom Mechav. Anonymous Refor Shlema Naftali Yeherz Ben Henyu Leah, hidden tzaddik in our generation. Anonymous in memory of Mazal Bat Leah Besanada and Iskia. Anonymous the schus of verdict that is good in an open and revealed way. Because Mordechai Ben Bat Leah. Weekly sponsors West Hesed Chevra in memory of our beloved Mordechai Asher Rav Yehuda Kellemer Zeichet Tzaddik Levroch upon his 5th yard side. Yoshi Weiss in honor of Mati Belsky for continuing Hatzlacha and great English AI videos. Because Mati Belsky is big into when the video of AI is in Hebrew, because our artists are Israeli, and he says he doesn't like it. Oh my goodness. David Solomon brought in over 50 people for this Masechta. I'm telling you, it's doable. Tzvi Pinzel says he's over 100. V'chulu v'chulu. All you need to do is be a little persistent on social media, which if you're using anyway, use it for the good of Torah. David, daily sponsors. Moshe Aaron and Miriam Landy, l'schus for Shlema from our grandmother, Mirintzivya Bas Rachel. We're not doing this. Anyway, art, anonymous, Yosef ben Chai Sor, for Bernas Brevach, for Shlema Yonatan Edem Ben Shav Bracha, for Shlema Mordechai ben Esther, for Sayel Daniel Zev ben Ayel Esther. Rabbi Isai, here we go. We're holding on Daf Hey Amud Beis. I want to remind you, we have a sugya that goes halfway down Amud Aleph. It's one of these sugyas that either you love it or you don't. But the great news is that it's over. It's Daf Yomi, and we go into easier, interesting sugyas right afterwards. Some people like this kind of stuff. I happen to like it. What do we have yesterday? We had Pasuk Beis. It says the word Minabakar. The Gemara asks, why do we have to say it again? Minabakar and Pasuk Gimel. Says the Gemara comes to teach us a chiddush that if an animal has a treifa, it's one of these things that the animal won't get to live according to Moshitas for more than 12 months. It has a punctured lung, a hole in the heart, different things. The spine is severed, won't survive. An animal like that, you're not permitted to bring as a carbon in the Beis Hamikdash. Ask the Gemara, why do I need a pasuk? And that's the whole sugya today, back and forth. I need the pasuk because I can't learn from a Kal V'chomer, but I have a Kal V'chomer. Why not? What's the Kal V'chomer? Kal V'chomer is I can learn it's very, very simple, this Kal V'chomer. If an animal that has a blemish, which you're allowed to eat on Shabbos, you're allowed to eat on the weekday, but you're not allowed to put it on the Mizbeach, so certainly this guy right over here that has a hole in his stomach, which you're not allowed to eat an animal that has a treifa, so certainly you shouldn't be able to put it on the Mizbeach. The guy on the right, you're allowed to eat, privately, the guy on the left, you're not allowed to. So on the Mizbeach, the guy on the left, the treifa certainly should be also. Love it. The little, how he slid down the ramp, the little things add a tremendous amount. I got to see it again. I know it's Erev Shabbos. I want to see it again. No, it's not letting me. Just to see him slide down, it's Kedai. Balmum is mutter to eat at home. A treif is aser. So certainly a balmum of a treif should be aser. Here you go, sliding down. Yes, shmak. Okay. So now let's see inside. Then the Gemara said, what's the lashon? Because I looked it up. I can't find it here. My shafta. Oh, ime shafta. I could not find it anywhere in Chas. I looked it up today, couldn't find it. Maybe you'll find it. Maybe it's spelled differently. The Nakuda is, what if I have a good answer on your Kal V'chomer? So then I need a pasuk. But what's the good answer? So we're going to bring all these, we're going to try to bring a good answer. We're going to knock it down. The bottom line, I have a Kal V'chomer, so I need a pasuk. At the end, the Gemara says here, that's why I need a pasuk, because the Kal V'chomer is no good. So the Gemara says, Mar bereder Ravina Amar. You know what could be a pircha to your Kal V'chomer? What are you telling me? You're saying, logically speaking, if something is usher for a private person to eat, it certainly should be usher for Hashem, so to speak. How can you bring this animal to the Beis Hamikdash when you yourself can't eat it at your Shabbos table? You can't eat it at your barbecue. It's a treifa. We know that they check for holes in the heart. They won't sell it. They'll sell it to a guy. So how can you bring it to the Mizbeach? Wait a minute. I have a few things here the Gemara brings. Shabbos. Something you're permitted to do for the Mizbeach, you're not allowed to do it privately. You're not allowed to shecht an animal on Shabbos. You're allowed to shecht an animal on Shabbos for the Beis Hamikdash, for the Mizbeach, the Tamid. You're allowed twice a day, the Musaf. Says the Gemara. So Mela, I would say a treif also. It might be also for a private person to eat, but it's mutter on the Mizbeach. Who told you? Don't bring me a right from Shabbos, because Shabbos, the whole idea of not being Michal Shabbos, once in a while you're allowed to be Michal Shabbos. Like I was a sandik at my son's, my grandson's bris. My son had a son, or my daughter-in-law had a son in Miami 3 weeks ago. Mamish, less than 3 weeks ago. On Shabbos, the Michal Shabbos. Oh, so Shabbos goes away. So don't bring a right from Shabbos. Says the Gemara, what do you mean Shabbos Michal Shabbos for Mila? Mila is not a private thing. Mila mitzvah. Mila is a mitzvah. Hashem commanded it. It's not. You're not benefiting anything from the Mila. We had a Givaldic guy here yesterday. I don't even know his name. Was his name Zupnik? Or maybe I'm confusing with somebody else. But he became Baal Tshuva when he was 43 years old. And he described that he had to have a bris Mila then. At 43, he had to get a bris. Part of the shir. I'll tell you. The reason you can't bring a raya from Shabbos is because that's how we do the mitzvah. There's no other way to do it. But bringing a carbon, I could do it without bringing a treif. I could bring a good, healthy animal. I don't need to bring a treifa. But on Shabbos, I have to shecht an animal to get a carbon tummy. Let me prove it from shatnez. What shatnez? Oh, Zubnik was your neighbor, yeah. Let's do the shatnez. Mark, I see your mamish. I'm not worried about Shabbos here. Your mamish part of the shir here. What shatnez? Putting semer upishtim yachtav, flax and wool together. You're not allowed to weave them together. So here, it's geshmak. He's weaving them together. He takes the wool, makes a thread of it, and then he takes the two threads and puts them together. That what? Shasurim lahad yudum tarim legavaya. You're not allowed to wear shatnez. In fact, if somebody comes over to you in the middle of the Beis Medrash and tells you that your pants are shatnez, you have to remove your pants in front of the whole Beis Medrash. There's no kavod abris when it comes to shatnez. But in the Beis Hamikdash, they use shatnez where the gartel, the avnei of the kohen gadol, the belt of the kohen. No, once in a while, shatnez is mutter even for an individual. Where? Tzitzis. You could wear a flax beged and put on wool tzitzis on the corners, and that's mamish shatnez. And it's mutter. So the Gemara, the same thing we said by a bris milah, do tzitzis tzarech too. You're doing it for yourself. Mitzvah. The Torah command you to wear tzitzis. Elo, top of Vav and Aleph, Malik Laim Shem Tzvasa B'kach. This bell, that's the way to do the mitzvah. I can't bring a raya from it. Rav Shisha Berei the Ravidi Omar, the reason why I need a pasuk to tell us that a treifa is also on the mizbech, and I can't learn that of a kavachomer from a balmum. This was something, me personally, when I was a child, it caused me trauma. This ma'atzad, but it's so simple. In fact, if you do it in a chart, it's just like wow. We have three things here. Actually, it's two things. We're going to go in a circle. It's like a catch-22. We're trying to prove that something that it's usher to an individual should be mutter or usher for the mizbeach. So Gemara says, let's learn from Malika. That what? Malika, when I kill a bird in the Beis Hamikdash with my thumb, with my nail, so it's also for the individual, it's mutter for the mizbeach. Oh, so what are we going to say? No, but the reason why it's not a good raya is because over there it's something special that as the kohen kills it, he makes it mutter to the mizbeach, and at the same time it comes aser. Something special. So I'll bring a raya, and these are two things that we learned yesterday. Let me bring a raya from blood. Blood is also to the individual, but mutter to the mizbeach here. So maybe a treifa also mutter to the individual, also to the mizbeach, or fakir also to the individual, mutter to the mizbeach. No, but blood comes from something that's mutter. The whole animal is mutter. Whereas the treifa, the whole animal is a treifa. No, but what about malika? So now I'm going to pull out malika. So the combination of these two things, I can learn one thing. I'm going to learn that there is a concept where something is asur for the individual, mutter for the mizbeach. Let's see inside. 3 lines from the top. That's the top thing in this chart. That's the 3 o'clock on this chart. But you can't bring a raya because the whole body of the animal is mutter. The whole bird is also. The chazar adin goes in a big circle. Each one has its own chisaron, but they have one common denominator. What's the common denominator? An individual is also to eat something that had malika, and it's also for him to eat blood. But yet they're both mutter to the mizbech, and so too a treifa. And Memela what? Memela I can't learn a kavachomer, and that's why I need a pasuk to say the treifa is also. You just have to hold cup. When am I knocking the kavachomer? And if I'm knocking the kavachomer, I need a pasuk. Or when am I saying I have a good kavachomer? Why do I need a pasuk? Says Gemara, take a look at the chart. All these things. Oh no, this is the tzad shavah. It's red. It's also to the individual. It's mutter to the. Says Gemara, no, but all of these things, the malika, that's the only way to do it. The Torah said that's the way you do it. Dam chaylev, that's the way you sprinkle the blood on my mizbeach. You give Hashem to eat, so to speak, from the blood. The mela, I take the kolchkin treif and I flip it on its head, as in this chart. Zog the Gemara, El Omer Ravashi, Mishum the Ika Lemeimar Mikor the Dina Pircha. Again, we're going back. Why do I need a pasuk that says Mina Bakar? Not this, sorry, not this one. I'm trying to get to this one. We don't need to see it, but it's going to play in the background. Why do I need a pasuk when I have a kavachomer that tells me that a treifa should not be allowed on a mizbeach? Because if a balmum, a blemished animal, is not allowed on the mizbeach, certainly a treifa. Says, I'll tell you why. Let's stop it now. You got it. Your whole kavachomer is from a blemished animal. A beautiful svar that we didn't have in a very long time. It's that the kohen and the animal are equals. The animal cannot be a balmum, and the kohen performing the avodah cannot be a balmum. Both of them. But a treifa is different. A treifa, don't bring me any right from a treifa, because the treifa itself can't be a balmum. But the kohen performing the avodah could be a balmum. There's no issur for a kohen that has a hole in his heart to perform the avodah in the Beis Hamikdash. An animal born with a cesarean will prove it to us. Together with the balmum, we'll do like a mad tzad. We'll take the two of them in combination. Each one has a problem you can't learn individually, but the two of them together, they'll help each other out. Each one that has the problem, well, the other one doesn't have the problem. But the other one has this problem, but the first one doesn't have the problem. Boom, together, we can learn out. That what? You're telling me that's such a big milo that a balmum, kayin, and an animal both are similar in a treif not. But guess what? A yaitze doifen. An animal that was born with a cesarean is also to go on the mizbeach. But what about a kayin? What about a kayin? Let me ask you, a kayin who's born with a cesarean, can he perform the avodah in the Beis Hamikdash? For the answer to that, we must see this video.
Where is she?
Rev Doctor, where's my wife? What's with the birth?
Look at the
She went
detail.
in
The
for
guys are
surgery,
sleeping, they're
It's going to
tired.
be a C-section. Don't worry, Mirza Hashem, everything will be just fine.
Don't do a C-section. Son can't be a Yotzei Dofen.
Why are you refusing the cesarean section? We have a
Cesarean
skilled and
section.
talented team.
It's Asur. My boy has to be a Kohen, serve in the Beis Hamikdash, bring korbanos. If he's a Yotzei Dofen, he'll be posul.
I'll check and do everything I can to make sure your son will be kosher.
Thank you so much. I need a son who will bring korbanos in the Beis Hamikdash. Don't worry, I checked. A Kohen who's a Yotzei Dofen is still kosher to serve in the Beis Hamikdash.
It's
You
kosher.
sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure. And by the way, Mazal Tov, it's a girl.
What? What? Oh.
I don't know where he pulled out the baby from, but it looked good. His two hands were like this. All of a sudden, he pulls out a baby. AI, Givaldik. Zog the Gemara. AI, somebody said maybe the video of me skiing with the Gemara is AI. No, it's me skiing with the Gemara. Let me tell you. Yesterday, I got up at 4 a.m. to prepare shir. I don't know how much I learned. I'll make a cheshbon, 8 to 10 hours probably to learn. And I went skiing for less than 2 hours. I explained why. My kids, I took them for 30 years. My oldest one, since he's a baby, I took him skiing. I don't want them to have a bad taste and say, oh, because you do the shir, you can't go skiing. Every year, take them skiing. Maybe besides Corona or something. But the point is, I'm a firm believer that you're allowed to enjoy life, do cool things, go to a fancy restaurant once in a while, but don't forget what we're here for. Don't forget about the Torah. And I was trying to make a point. Even when you're snowboarding, you could learn Torah. Even when you're skydiving, you should learn Torah. When you're on a train and a plane, you should learn Torah. Okay, so it's not b'chdei shias, you can't really learn when you're snowboarding. I get it, but it was an akuda, it was a thing. It's a makachir on a snowboard. Yeah, five. It doesn't matter what the other guy does and what it is. This is a gishmaka thing. It's healthy. You lose calories. You're enjoying. We had the Gemara. We have the Mesilsi Sharim. We're supposed to. Kosh Baruch Hu gave us these beautiful mountains and skis to enjoy. Go enjoy, but don't forget daven b'minyan. Learn some Torah. It's givaldik. Like the Gemara. It was not AI. Not AI. It was fake, but it was not AI. So the Gemara. So let me prove from a Yaitze Doifen that what? That a Yaitze Doifen, the Kayan is mutter to do the Avodah, but the carbon not. So you didn't make the Kayan. The Kayan is kosher. The Makriv guy is kosher. Like the animal that you're putting on his back, which is not kosher if it's a Yaitze Doifen. You can't bring a Caesarean born animal on his back. You're allowed to eat a barbecue made out of a Caesarean animal, but it's also on the Mizbeach. So you know what? A firstborn animal has Gedusha, but not if it was born with Caesarean. Oh, so you see a weakness in it. No, I'll prove that what? A Balmum could be a Bechar, even though it has a blemish. But it's also the Mizbeach. Mal Balmum, she can also buy Makrim Kikravim. But a Balmum, the Kohen, if he's a Balmum, he can't do it. He can't do that way. Then if the animal is a Balmum, he can't be put on his back. You're to dive in your. But kids were going again in a circle. I didn't have time to put it in. Yoshi wasn't feeling well today. We didn't put it in. But you get the circle. It just keeps on going in a circle, catch 22, so to speak. The Chazar din. And it keeps on going in a circle. Each one has its own minus. But they have one common denominator. That an individual can make a barbecue out of it. And it's also on the Mizbeach. Now, once again, we have our Gabbachoymer back that a treifa should certainly, since it's also for an individual, it certainly should be also for the Mizbeach. So, what's the question? If so, why do I need the pasuk min habakar? Says the Gemara, the reason I need the pasuk, since treifa is different. Treifa is different than a Yaitze Doifen and all these things. There's a case where a treifa is mutter to eat, but the other ones don't have. A balmum is never mutter on the mizbeach. What's the case? That if you do malika, wow, boys, I want to say shalom aleichem to 6 people that are on Zoom. They must be, I don't know if it's Ari Simon. It must be somebody from Los Angeles, from this area, because it's way into Shabbos. It's an hour and a half into Shabbos, everywhere else. Shabbos by us, I don't remember ever going so close to Shabbos. Mark will remind me. Probably we did, like right before Pesach. Mincha is 5:30 by you. Mincha is 5:10 by me. So I got to get going soon. Where are we going to go? I'm ready for Shabbos. I just have to put my suit and my tie on, but everything else, I took a shower and everything. I'm ready to go. So it was your idea, Mark, that we should do the shir now. I was going to do it in the morning. Mark said, no. It's better like this. I'm happy we did it like this. Akoponim says the Gemara that by a treifa, how do you have a treifa? One time it's mutter to eat. How? When the kohen takes his thumb with the nail and cracks or severs the spine of the bird. That makes the bird a treifa. Then he continues pushing forward and he severs the kon and the vesha, the trachea and the esophagus. And that's how you kill the bird. But before you kill them, before you cut the simanim, the trachea and the esophagus are called simanim, before you did that, you created a treifa here, and you're allowed to eat it. Forget the eating. You're allowed to put it on the mizbeach. For now, we don't know about eating yet. We know about mizbeach. What's the case exactly? You're telling me that you did malika, and you're allowed to put it on the mizbeach. What kind of raya is it? A balmum also you could put on the mizbeach when it's balmum. Here, check this out.
I've got an appointment at the Beis Hamikdash today. Can I come in?
Absolutely not.
I can see you've got a permanent cut on your lip. Leave this place at once.
May I come in, please?
Ah, yes, of course, with pleasure.
What was that supposed to be? Why did you let the injured dove in? I also want to be offered on the Mizbahach. Let me in!
Stop yelling! The explanation is simple.
What do you mean?
If you join the Daf Yomi shiur and start learning Maseches Menachos, you'll know it too.
He doesn't have a boo-boo on his lip anymore over there, but that's just AI. There's a concept, there's no zachrus in a bird. In other words, you cannot differentiate physically, and it doesn't really matter either way. You could bring a female or a male. Another thing is there's no tamus. There's no such thing as a bird that has a blemish. There is something called that a bird is missing a wing, a bird is missing a full limb, like a leg. That's a problem. But just a blemish is not a problem. Cataract, all these blemishes are not a problem. Oh, says Gemara, but the point is that there's a treifa where you could eat. What is the treifa you could eat? There's two types of birds we bring in the Beis Hamikdash: an oila and a chatas. Oila, the entire bird goes on the mizbech, kulei l'Hashem. The whole thing goes for Hashem. But a chatas, just like an animal chatas, you get to eat part of it. The kohen gets to eat it. The bird also, the kohen gets to eat it. But it's a treifa. The kohen went like this with his finger. He made it a treifa. So you see, there's one case of a treifa that's huta miklala, and that's why you can't learn treifa from everything else. Says Gemara, but wait a minute, the kohen is eating right off the mizbeach. In other words, the fact that the kohen could eat, it's not the pshat that Hashem allowed him to eat. Hashem took it for the mizbeach. Now, once it's ready for the mizbeach can eat this treifa. Now the kohen gets to eat from it. It's different. It's a different way of looking at it. The Eglei Tal says over here that's the pshat in Trumas and Maasros. When you give the kohen 10% or 2% for Truma, 10% to the Levi for Meiser, and the Levi gives his 10% to the kohen, it's not pshat that you're giving the kohen. You're giving to the Rebbeinu Shalom. And the Rebbeinu Shalom allows the kohen to take from him. It's a different way of thinking of it. You gave to Hashem. So you could think Gevaldik. Now you could use that same thing. Maybe that's what he meant. But tzedakah also. It's not pshat. You're giving to the poor person. You're giving to Hashem. Hashem gave it over to the poor person. You're giving back to Hashem. It's a different way of looking at it. I'm giving a donation to Hashem, just like you bring a carbon to Hashem. You don't give it to a human being, you give it to Hashem. So to tzedakah, I'm giving it to Hashem. And here's a great place to stop and emphasize an unbelievable, beautiful thing that I'm very, very proud to be part of MDY. As we know, last Shabbos, exactly a week ago, the Chevron MDY, Mamish, moved me to tears by buying me an aliyah for $180,000. $180, it's a crazy number. We said as a joke, the Chaverim, they got together after davening, during davening. What do you think the pay rate is going to be? What do you think that I brought a marshal the year before, they got together and gave $20,000 to my bchar so that he should learn Sanhedrin. He didn't want to learn it. $1,000, what was he going to do? Official offered $1,000 that he offered a lot of people. Not 1,000, not my bchar. So Lamaisi did it, and Lamaisi is still doing the Dav Baruch Hashem. But 50% of the people paid off. Somebody just paid, not like today or last night. Trying to think. He asked my wife for the Zell, both paid off. Listen to this. The number which I mentioned yesterday, it's an unbelievable number. It's a number that we have to think about. Beautiful. MDY is beautiful. From $180,000, $130,000 was collected already. You chop this number, it's unbelievable. Mikam Yisrael. Very, very proud of the Chevra. Very. Because my Chaver would tell me, hey, you're going to get $30,000 out of this $180,000. I said, oh, it's Givaldic. $30,000 is great. $130,000 in 1 week. People wanted, paid off in 12 months. It's also Givaldic. $130,000 came in. Unbelievable. It wasn't collected. Nobody sent out a letter, an email, garnished. People gave on their own thing. And here's the crazy thing. I didn't know. So some numbers. Fischl gave $5,000 towards Dali, he paid it off. Tzvi Pinzel, I said, gave $4,000, paid it off. My official paid off, I don't remember how much. He gave a crazy amount. 20, 30, I don't know how much. Other people, David Solomon, all these people paid off. Crazy. I didn't know the numbers. Official Decatur, $5,000. All right. Daf gehen weiter. It's almost Shabbos. Oh, Vela Parachachi. Finally, again, let's wrap it all up, and this is the end of the sugya. I'm telling you, the end of the sugya. Why does the Torah have to say mina bakar to tell me that you cannot bring an animal that has a hole in the heart as a carbon? I can learn it from logic. The Gemara says you cannot learn it from logic. Why? Well, you're going to learn from a balmum, someone that has a blemish. Look at this bird over here. He's all banged up. You could see that he has blemishes. But a treifa, we know. Anybody that ever went to a shlachtois, you have to open up the chicken, you have to open up the cow, you have to look at the lung. You blow it up, they blow up lungs, and then they say, oh, look, there's a sircha over here, there's a white dot here. It's not something that you notice most of the time. And Mamela cannot learn out a treifa from a balmum. Maybe. It makes a lot of sense now that I'm thinking about it. What's the pasuk? I know the words. I'm drawing a blank. That you don't bring this to a moishel. Everybody's screaming it on the screen, and I can't. Piseach Iver. Would you bring this to Hayirtze Hashem? No, my memory, sorry. But like it's mamish on the tip of my tongue. Hayirtze, how do you say the moishel over there? Anyway, the point is a pasuk. Would you bring this to the guy, the ruler of your city? Absolutely not. So don't bring this to Hashem. Now, when a bird looks like this, does it make? Do you bring this to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Is that something that you're proud to bring to Hashem? But a treifa, Rabbi side, maybe that's the pshat. The treifa is inside. It doesn't look bad to Hashem from the outside. The chitzonius wise, he's wearing a black hat. He's wearing the jacket. He has the payas. He's a good guy. No. Let's look at the inside. What's going on inside? He has a nice hole in his heart. He's missing from emunah and betachin. That guy not. That animal not. Zog the Gemara. Lusugya. Utreva machanafka. You're telling me that you learned treva from this pasuk min habakar. Let's see the pasuk again for the 15th time. Favos nisht. This is the pasuk that you're learning treva from. They have other ones. Mazon nafki memashki Yisrael. This is the yisai that we learned yesterday. That do not bring a carbon to HaKadosh Baruch Hu from something that a yid can't drink from. It has to be mashki Yisrael. It has to be roy to eat. Minamutal Yisrael. And another second pasuk. Because we know that when you have 10 animals, the 10th one goes to Meiser. But do not include, you let them out of the pen, 1, 2, the 10th one, you hit it with the red dye. Didn't show it today because we have a lot of other stuff. But if one of them is a treifa, has a hole in the heart, he's not part of the 10. Part of the treifa, so you see that you can't bring a treifa on his back. Says I need all 3 psukim. I need min habakar, I need mashki Yisrael, I need tachas hashevet. You mashki Yisrael have amin lemudi yechad le'yizil shasa kosher. Our thing is dafka when the animal's born like this, but a treifa dumi the arlo klaya kerem. I'm not going to show the whole arla. We're running late here. Arla means the first 3 years of a tree. You're not allowed to benefit. You're not allowed to sell it, use it for any purpose at all. You must let it rot. That's arla. Let's just watch the first year, and then you get the rest after that. Here comes the apple or whatever it is. You're not allowed to use it. You're not allowed to benefit from it. You let it rot. Okay, second year. Cleric is if you have a vineyard with grapes, you're not allowed to sow, you're not allowed to plant. Midaraisa, according to everybody, it's wheat, but according to most Tanoim, it's also other vegetables as well. And believe it or not, the Gemara learns this from this pasuk, Memashki Yisrael pasuk. In other words, Klei Kerem and Arla they were born bad. They never had a shasakosh. They didn't have a moment that they were mutter. Whereas a treifa, he can be a normal animal, and all of a sudden a nail goes into his stomach, and then becomes a treifa. But if it was good, maybe it should be kosher. That's why I need the second pasuk. Now, if I only had these two psukim, because it makes a difference if it became treifa, and then you made it egdish, it's no good. Do me the meiser. That's like a meiser. It's treif, and then you try to make a meiser, no good. But if you made it kaddish first, and then only afterwards it became treifa, at the moment that you made it hegdish, it was roi to be hegdish, but nothing wrong with it. I would think that it is kosher. That's what the Torah says. Min abakar, the third pasuk, to tell me that a treif is also to go on the mizbeach tzrichi. Says the Heilige Mishnah. A Yisrael cannot perform the kmitza. Interesting thing. Now, when it comes, we said that a mincha corresponds, the 4 avodas of a mincha correspond to the 4 avodas of shechting in an animal. You have kmitza, you have putting it in a kli, you have oilacha, and you have putting it on the mizbeach. So too, when you shecht an animal, you have shchita, kabbalah, oilacha, zrika. But guess what? Shchita could be done by Yisrael. By a mincha, cannot be done by a Yisrael. But what's interesting in this Mishnah, pay attention because the Gemara is going to ask it right away, so I just want to point it out here. From all the Menachos, and there's many Menachos, the Mishnah picks one, Minchas Chayta, the Mincha of a sinner. Let's say somebody walked in the Beis HaMikdash when he was Tamei. Why? Just start the Mishnah. All the Menachos that Yisrael did the Kmitza. I'm going to show you what a Kmitza is in a second. Or, somebody whose parents or relative died that day, before the burial, they can't do any mitzvahs. If he performed the kmitza, bye-bye. Tful Yoim is a person who is tamei and went to the mikvah that day. We'll show you real quickly, because we're in a rush. But some geshmaggy stuff. Bunch of rats eating pizzuchim. One of them chokes to death.
Central. Responding to the call on Elm Street, ETA 2 minutes.
So the mouse is dead, so it made the person tamei. So this person has to go to the mikvah, goes to the mikvah, and becomes a tful yoim. In other words, he has to wait until nightfall, until he becomes completely tahar. Now he's red, but he dumps into the water, he becomes purple. If the kohen is not wearing the begadim that he's supposed to wear, the clothing that a kohen wears, if he's a kohen gadol, it's 8 clothing. If he's a kohen hadi, 4. Mechusar kippurim. If he's in this state of purple. No, let's do this. Yeah. Sorry. So a person is tamei. He's red. He goes to the mikvah. Toivel. Now he's purple. Now he's a tful yom. But if he's a zava yoledes, he has to wait until the following day to become completely tar. It's not enough for shkia. Here, the nightfall comes, he's still blue. Now, once he gives the sheep, he turns green. He has to bring a carbon. Once he brings the carbon, he's completely tar. A kohen who did not wash his hands and feet, he cannot perform the kmitza. Oral, he's a Jew. Let's say his brothers died during the bris milah, so he didn't do one. So he's oral. He doesn't have bris. He cannot do kmitza. Tamei, he's tamei. Yoshev, he's sitting down. He's standing on top of any kind of device. He's not standing directly on the floor of the Beis HaMikdash. He cannot perform the or standing on an animal, agabe behema, he's on an animal, he has to be directly on the floor. Agabe ragel chaber, he's standing on his friend's feet, which are like his feet. It's min b'minoi. No, it's chaytz, it's possible. Comments b'smal. He performed the kmitz instead of with his right hand, he did it with his left hand. Possible. Ben B'Seir Oimer. Ben B'Seir says, let's say you did it with your left hand, just take everything. Here, I have a bunch of flour. Take it, put it back into the bucket. And then you start over again. Yachzer. The Yachzer v'yikim b'yamin, and then you do it with your right hand. Comments about the he did kmitza with his right hand. But inside the kmitza, he found a stone. So it's not a full kmitza. It has to be 3 fingers with. Or a piece of a grain of salt, or a piece of frankincense. Possible. It's possible. Why? Why is it possible? If you make too much kmitza or too little, possible. What's too much and what's too little? Let me demonstrate, please. Unfortunately, these gloves are a medium size. I'm extra large. So it's going to perhaps cut off my blood circulation, but it's worth it. Worth every schmack. Look at that. Okay, the way you do kmitza is, let me just make it nice and that. You stick your hand in sideways like this into the flour, and then you close the 3 fingers, just like this, and that's a perfect kmitza because it's on both sides. You go with your pinky and with your thumb, and now this amount that I'm about to drop right over there is the kmitza. Let's do it again. Go sideways. Now, you see this part on top of my hand? That's mevayrot. That's no good. That makes it possible. Don't say, oh, it's more. No. With your thumb, you got to go like this. Got to knock it down. Okay? And with your pinky, you go like this. Now it's nice and almost even. Gewaldig. See, like that. Now, the chotzer. What's chotzer? What does it mean too little? And that's the problem that we have now, because you have a stone in there. It's too little. Notice how my fingers go to the bottom of my palm. See that? Rosh Hashanah would be like this. Your fingers are bent all the way up to each other. And you have that little amount. That's no good. It has to be all the way down to your palm, like that. That's the amount. Oy, that shouldn't have happened. I was too wild. Okay, gewaldig. Says the Gemara, why are you telling me I'm picking one out of all the menachos, the mincha of the sinner? Why? Listen, just start from all the menachos, because it applies to all the menachos. You can't have a Yisrael doing kmitza, and you cannot have a Einan doing kmitza, and all the other things in the Mishnah. Says Gemara, it's really halacha for Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. In fact, this is what Mendy Orbach was tying, and we probably got it from here. Why shouldn't the sinner's mincha require oil and levina? Why? Because we don't want somebody who sinned to benefit. Oh, because you're a sinner, you don't have to spend extra money on the frankincense and on the. It doesn't make sense. And this Rabbi Isai, I realized that this Reb Shimon Bar Yochai who loves explaining the Pnimius HaTorah. That's what we started the Masechta with. Reb Shimon Dorish time in the Kra. I hope Rashi doesn't say it, because then I'll be a big Amar. No, he doesn't say it. Good. And why, in fact, does the Chayte not have to spend extra money? You should make him spend extra money. He sinned. Because I don't want his carbon to be a beautiful carbon. I want it to be a shvacha carbon to show, hey, you sinned. You're not bringing a fancy thing here. And let's continue with the same thing should apply to a carbon, not a mincha. A carbon, you bring an animal, because you sin, let's say Michal Shabbos by mistake. You should bring the wine that goes together with it, the libation. Why don't you have to bring the wine? I don't want him to bring a fancy carbon. And the Gemara fears lies. Reb Shimon is the one that says that I want him to have a nice carbon. He can't sleep psulim. So if a zar or a oinen or all these psulim people, namitit kasher should be kosher. Why? Because it shows that it's a weak carbon. Yisrael does it. Who cares? Mashma, no, it's a shvacha carbon. There's no oil. There's no levina. But no Yisrael cannot perform the kmitza. Turning to the daf is by a Dar Global special expert in international payments, Encore Healthcare, L'Schus Refuah Shlema, L'Yeled, Michal Ben Shulamis, L'Schus Hatzlacha, Kol Klal Yisrael Anonymous, Emerit Berfol, Kaimov, doing the daf. Thank you again. Zog the Gemara, Ihachi, Hasam Nami Lisne. So whatever we just said in our Mishnah, we know Mesachtes Zvachim mimics Menachos mimics Zvachim. Say the same exact thing in Mesachtes Zvachim. Hasam Nami Lisne, Yachol Chatas Chaylev Echad. We should bring the chatos as an example. And you're going to ask me, why? To say that it goes according to Reb Shimon. What do you see? How come it's not in Mesachtes Zvachim? Since it says the word kol, which includes all the karbanos, it doesn't say besides. It includes all. And since it says by us, all, it includes every single mincha in the world. The question remains, so why in the world do we highlight minchas chayte? Says the Gemara, the first Mishnah of Mesachtes Zvachim we already established doesn't go like Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. The what? The first Mishnah says that if you bring a mincha and the Kohen thought the wrong thought, and thought instead of thinking that it's a minchas marcheshes, he thought it's a minchas machvas or whatever he thought. The owner that brought the carbon has to bring another one. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai says he doesn't. So I would think that the second Mishnah also doesn't go like Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, because the first one doesn't go like Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Kamash one doesn't go like Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. You know the Reb Shimon. So Vinami the like Reb Shimon. Kamash one goes like Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi say Branu Sugi Omamar. I'm reading what Mark just wrote to me. To the many who donated $500 and $1,000, something about their pledge. Okay. I think they got it, no? That also gave in their pledges for I should thank all those 500 guys and the $1,000 guys. And that guy, I said it, I don't know if I said it in a shir. There's a guy, a young looking guy. Let's call him in his 20s. He donated he was sitting next to me, so I noticed. He gave $500. And then I saw him going over to one of the gabayim that was going around and asking for it. He says, if I give another $500, can I take that $500 and give it over a year? That's how the $500 meant so much to him. He needed to break it up into 10 payments, 12 payments. Unbelievable. Gewaldig. Mikam Yisrael. Says Gemara Yehachi, Hanu ben Beseira, sorry. Omarav, Nu Alacha, Zor Shekometz Yachzer. Individual Yisrael, you're coming to Shul, we're going at 5:10 in 19 minutes. Tell Yoel, please, Zar Shekometz Yachzer. If a Yisrael does kmitza and it's no good, put it back into the pot. What's the problem? Ask the Gemara, what do you mean, what's the problem? It says in our mission that's possible. Says Gemara, no, you misunderstood. My puzzle yachzer. Yeah, it's possible until he puts it back in the pot. If he puts it back in the pot, it's kosher. So then what in the world does Ben Beseira add? There's no machlokes between the Tanakh and Ben Beseira, the same exact same thing. Put it back in the pot and continue biting. That's what Ben Beseira says, put it in the pot. If the Tanakh says put it back in the pot, then he didn't say different. So the Gemara, this is the claims if you see it and it's in his hand, tell him to put it back in. The problem is it got lost. Oh, Rabbi Isai, can an individual go to his house and fill it up? So here's a continuation of yesterday, of a few days ago. I love this logo.
The Kohen then mixes the flour with oil to perform the mitzvah of blila. The Levovits is added, and the Kohen does kmitza.
But wait, I'm not even a Kohen. I'm a czar.
Okay. If a czar did the kmitza, he just puts the comments back into the kli where the mincha is.
Go on, get it. Oy vey, the dog ate my kmitza. What am I gonna do now? Huh?
Okay. Now we've got a problem.
I know what I'll do. I'll go home.
Look at the detail. You see the undershirt says Andy Weinen. It opens and closes.
No, that's a good
By the way, that's
eitzah
the
according to
Gartel
Ben
that the Kohen Gadol
Batera,
was
but
davening.
according to the Chachamim, your mincha's got no tikkun. I'd say we go to commercials.
Oh, you've had commercials in the Daf Yomi show. I go bought him. This is a shaila here. That what? Rabbanan Savar Liyovim B'Tech Beis Avim Alenu. Rabbanan hold that you need the kedusha of the kli to make it a mincha. You can't just go home and grab some flour from your house. But B'Seir Savar Yovim B'Tech Beis Avim Alenu. So here's the machlokes. You ask me what's the machlokes between Tanakam and B'Seir? Very simple. If the kmitza got lost, a dog ate it. So can you refill it from your house? As the Gemara, but the words in the Mishnah don't seem like it. Why? Because it should say, go to your house, or go to the B'Seir, go home and bring flour. It doesn't say that. What it should say is, go home. That's what it should say. Says Gemara, Rav was not talking in Chachamim at all. Rav was only talking about the Shita of Ben Beseira. Says Gemara, if so, Shita, what is he saying? Rav says that if a Yisrael does kmitza with his left hand, he should put it back in the bowl and restart. That's what Ben Beseira says. So why did Rav have to say it? If he's going in Ben Beseira, then he didn't add anything. Well, the same about Ben Beseira el Bismo. Rav is going to Mechadash that the whole list of the Mishnah, the Oinen, and the Mechusik Yippurim Tvul Yoim, all these things we said that are puzzle, that also you can put back in the bowl and to restart. I would think that Ben Beseira was just talking about the left hand versus the other stuff. I only have 2.5 minutes. Let's see what we can do in 2.5 minutes. Maish and small. Why is the left hand different? When the Kohen Gadol can't hold all the stuff together and he has to also hold on to the Ketores on Yom Kippur, he's allowed to use his left hand. So you see there's an exception to the rule on the left. So to Yisrael, you see an exception that he could do shchita. So the Gemara shchita lav avodah. As we said yesterday, shchita is not considered one of the 4 avodas. And now the Gemara is going to debate that. Shchita is para bezor psula. When you have a para duma, a Yisrael cannot perform the shchita. Why can't the Yisrael perform the shchita? Because it's considered an avodah. And Rav explains, because it says, we know, everybody knows, every kid in Cheder knows that it says by paraduma, zois chukas ha-Torah. This is exactly the way it is. We don't understand it. Sometimes you don't understand. It's a chayk. So since the Torah said it should be like that, that's it. You can't do it any differently. Shani para the kachi b'dekabayisi. I'm going to tell you that a para duma is kachi b'dekabayis. Now, there's 2 things. There's something called kachi mizbeach, which is a very high level of kedusha. Like when I take an animal, I say this should be an oila. So it has the high kedusha of kachi mizbeach. Something lower level. I donated an animal to the Beis Hamikdash, the upkeep of the Beis Hamikdash. They could sell it. They could do whatever they want with it. A para duma is in the lower category. Kachi b'dekabayis. Says the Gemara, wait a minute. It makes no sense what you just said. You need a kain because it's in a lower category for carrot. If it was in the higher category, you need a kain. What you're telling me is that even in the lower category, you need a kain. Certainly in the higher category. Isn't there a kavachaymer? If you need a kain for the lower category, certainly you should need it in that. And we're going to have to stop in 40 seconds. When a kain looks at saras, you don't need it's not considered an avodah, but you definitely need a kain. As the Gemara of an Elef Mebama, why can't we learn from a Bama that what? That even a Yisrael is allowed to perform the avodah on a Bama in a backyard mizbeach. But you can't learn maybe from a Bama to the Beis Hamikdash. But we learn the famous, I'm not going to show it now, but the famous Imala Yered video. How do you know that there's certain things that once they go on the Mizbeach, they don't have to come off, even though it's also to put on, but they don't come off? And we learn it from the Obama. Says Gemara, no. We learn it from a pasuk. But we just use the Bama as an asmachtara boisai. Have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.